So
It's good seeing this, Mike.
right, so for
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
We're about to start the meeting, and Karen Newbirth, as Vice President, will open the meeting. If you would like to speak this evening in public forum, there are yellow sheets in the back. You can certainly bring that up and join employ the board secretary. We will open the meeting and then do oath of officers, elect presidents, and do some work with the board, and then have public forum. So,
Thank you. Welcome. We will start this meeting. It's 6 p.m. and we do abide by the Open Meetings Act, and that is posted in the back of the room. We are glad to see all these faces here and love the blue tonight. So I will turn it over to you for the oath of office.
yes, thank you. Make sure that we have all our technology on. My apologies.
Is that better? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that it?
Look closer to me.
We will work with that. So, all right, we have 3 new board members this evening, and we would like to swear them in and have the oath of office for those 3 new board members to stand. You have the oath in front of you, and if you would, raise your right hand, and we will start, and we can do this in unison. So, you want me to help you?
I, Steve Shannon, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Nebraska against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to all,
To the
to
same.
the same.
That I take
That I take
this
this
obligation
obligation
freely
freely
and without mental
reservation or for purpose of evasion,
and
that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of the office of the Bennington School District
Board of Education
of Education according to the law
law
and to the best of my ability. And I do further swear that I do not advocate, nor am I a member of any political party or organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States or of this state by force or violence. And that during such time as I am in this position, I will not advocate nor become a member of any political party or organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States or of this state by force or violence. So help me God.
Congratulations. At this time, by policy, the superintendent will ask for nominations for president. Once that has been settled and the president has been elected, then that president will take over the rest of the board meeting. So at this time, we do, by policy, look to Robert's Rules of Orders as a guide. It is not an exact. That suggests that a nomination may be made by a board member for another board member or for themselves. There is no second that is necessary if one wants to. They may do so. But the nominations will then, a nomination to cease nominations will have to occur. And then we will have a vote. That vote is by paper that is collected and read by the board secretary. So at this point in time, if anybody would like to nominate self or other for board president, we will take those nominations.
I would like to nominate Allison Slavatsky.
I would like to nominate Tim Dreesen.
I'd like to nominate to cease the nominations.
And I will second that.
Thank you.
All right.
With the ceasing of nominations, we'll do a simple no roll call, but voice vote. All those in favor of ceasing nominations at this time, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Nominations have ceased. We will hand out, Jody will hand out a piece of paper, and the vote will be recorded. We have 3 votes for Ms. Slavatsky and 3 votes for Mr. Dreesen. We will again ask for a vote. Thank you. The votes have been recorded. Again, 3 and 3. votes have been recorded. Again, 3 and 3. The fourth round of votes have been recorded. 3 and 3. After the fifth vote, we still have 3 for Ellison and 3 for Tenders. All votes have been recorded. 3 and 3. 6 votes have been counted, 3 and 3. All votes have been counted, 3 and 3. All votes have been counted, 3 and 3.
Dr. Mark, am I permitted to ask a question about the procedure?
You are.
What do we do if we continue to be deadlocked? Is there a tie-breaking policy? Is there opportunity to ask questions? Anything? Or we just keep doing this?
That is there is no tie-breaking procedure.
Okay.
We do have legal counsel here. If the board would like to ask the legal counsel, if there are some other additional questions, we'd be happy to answer those. Okay. After 10 votes, we still have 3 and 3.
I welcome Mr. Aldridge, legal counsel for the district, to give us some suggestions or tips for an efficient resolution.
Good evening, Derek Orders from Prairie Law Firm in Lincoln. I don't have any great tips for you. There possibly could be some mechanisms if you had 3 nominees, but since you only have 2, there really isn't a good mechanism to address this. The 2 ways really would be, one is if one of the nominees would voluntarily agree to withdraw their name from consideration. Or the other option is of the deadlock between the 3 and the 3, somebody just has to change their mind and go a different direction. But there really isn't a tiebreaker, there's no coin flip, there's no arm wrestling, there's nothing like that. It's a vote. Everybody's vote counts the same as everybody else's, and you just gotta go through it. Sorry, best advice I can give. Just to clarify one thing, we do have to do a majority. I mean, that is a policy requirement that we have, you have to elect by a majority. We have 6 here, that means you have to have 4 votes at a minimum. So that's the mechanism we have, and that's the mechanism we're gonna have to follow through this. Any other questions?
Are we permitted to ask questions of the nominees?
Before we do voting, you could, before you go the next round of voting, you could.
I don't wanna put people on the spot, but at the same time, I don't want to sit here all night and write down names. So would the nominees be willing to share why they would like to serve as president of the Board of Education?
I guess I'll just say the public has been very outspoken to me. I've been contacted by plenty of the public that would like me to be president.
I'd just like to add the skill set that I think I would provide. To me, the role of the president is to facilitate the meeting efficiently and effectively, to make sure everybody has an opportunity to speak and be heard. And I feel like I'm a good listener. I like to listen first, speak second. I also feel like I have experience on the board, and given we have a lot of work to do. And we have a big agenda coming up this year, and I'd like to help facilitate getting a lot of things accomplished this year. And I appreciate your consideration.
I'm permitted to ask another question. How long have each of you served on the board?
I think Tim and I both were installed 2 years ago, so we both have the same experience.
Thank you.
Are you ready to vote? All right. We have a 3-3 vote. We will vote again.
An additional point of procedure at this time, since we've closed the nominations, are we allowed to reopen nominations?
I don't believe so.
Thank you.
We are 3-3.
Can I ask an additional question? What other of our nominees, what offices have you held on the school board since your time on the board?
Nothing.
As far as offices, I've been the treasurer for the past 2 years. I've also served on the policy committee and did the entire policy review, and also served on building and finance. So I was an officer plus on 2 committees. Do you want to share your committee?
One committee.
Thank you.
Votes have been tallied. We are 3-3. With the 15th vote, we are at 3-3. Votes have been tallied. We're at 3-3. Three, three. Votes are 3-3.
Votes are recorded 3-3.
Is there any precedent for co-presidents or any other options of what we have, or are we just gonna be doing this?
No precedent on co-presidents,
Right.
and we have finished the organizational meeting. We need to get a president in place.
With the 20th vote, we still are 3-3. All votes recorded 3-3. Votes are recorded and we are at 3-3.
3-3. All votes have been recorded. We are at 3-3.
Jody.
We heard that. They have 13. Take that. So this is my thing, you guys are taking it, and I'm.
After 25 votes, we are still 3-3.
Would it make sense for us to take a break, a quick recess?
You may do so. Yes, so, excuse me.
Sounds good to everyone. What would you prefer?
Right, you have that. You have
I
that.
can say.
Okay.
Let's take a break.
And how many would you like to meet back at what time?
5 till.
5 till. At this point in time, the meeting is not adjourned, but going to break until 5 till 7.
So we are still in a meeting. Okay, we're still in a meeting. We're still in a meeting, but we're gonna take a recess for shelter. We're still in a meeting.
Okay? Thank you. We are convening. My apologies. We are convening. Did I hear you want another vote? Is that what I heard?
Unless Derek has something he would like to add.
I don't have any words of wisdom. We still just need, we need to equal majority. Majority number of votes said before. No real good way to get there. Again, as I mentioned, it's somebody withdraws from the name from the nomination, or somebody has to change their vote. This is the traditional regular meeting of the board. This is the hurdle we have to get over for tonight. I suppose an option would be, and really all, I'm gonna just tell you, forewarn you, really all we're doing is potentially just kicking the can down the road, but potentially just adjourning the meeting with nothing getting done. And then you call another special meeting in a week, and you come back and have to do the exact same thing. So it doesn't solve the issue of trying to get a majority vote for anybody. It just gives you another week. Not the greatest preference, but again, we've been at it for an hour. It could go even longer.
Can I ask a question? Being it is a regular meeting, you can move stuff around the agenda, correct? The meeting is called to order, right?
The meeting is called to order, but we do need to get present.
No, I get that. No, I totally get it. What I'm trying to say is it's a public forum. I don't know how many people are here and maybe wanting to do their public forum. Can we do that? I'm not saying we have to, I'm asking.
From what I've seen, yes, we can do that, because we have an acting president right now, it's vice president. Vice president sitting in on that.
Correct.
So technically, unless there's something that's legally speaking, nothing that I've seen.
That's the only action that's gonna be taken. So you have to suspend this and then just do your public comment.
Only reason I'm saying is there's a lot of people here, it looks like, that maybe want to.
Yeah, I agree, there are a lot of people that have taken the time to show up
I
tonight.
don't want this, to have to come back for a special meeting.
Well, they would be welcome to come back for a special meeting.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
would have a public comment at a special meeting as well.
Yeah.
And again, just to clarify, it doesn't solve the issue. I mean, just all we're doing is taking a little time, a little breather room for the board to think about it, and potentially come back. That's my words of wisdom.
Can I ask how many people are wanting to speak for public forum? Do we know how many?
The right show of hands.
We have the list.
have a list.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we did, okay.
There you go. I came in late.
Okay.
How many?
One.
I will.
We have 8. Go ahead. Thank you. We have 8 total.
Well, vote or public forum, or what you guys' thoughts here?
Let's do one more vote. That would be my suggestion. Let's do another vote and then we'll take it from there.
The votes are tallied and we're at 3-3.
Before we, let me just make sure this is correct. Derek, you have a second. So if this is all right for us to just table this. Would we make a motion to table it?
You're gonna motion to suspend, yes.
And then, or we could table it until after, public forum. I'm just trying to make sure that we're doing the right thing.
You can do that as well, but I'd like to see a motion to say that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna move to suspend voting on presidency to do public comment. And then at that point, you're either gonna adjourn to set a meeting, special meeting for a date in the very near future, as soon as you can. Or you would resume the voting and get the same nominees.
Can you make a motion to just change the agenda order for tonight so that we can resume the voting after? No. So it's a suspension or a keep going?
And what happens to the special meeting scheduled for Thursday? Without a president?
You would have to set the special meeting first, and without any action, it wouldn't be held.
Thursday's not enough time. You got published in the newspaper.
We've already published the special meeting.
Special meeting, you could, but I would not do that. I would publish this.
So I'm saying we already have a meeting scheduled, correct?
You do not. You would have to do that tonight. That's part of the action tonight.
For the superintendent search?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think I would be open for a motion if someone would like to make a motion. Otherwise, we'd have to have a motion in order to stop the meeting. So if there's someone that would like to make a motion.
Well, and I have a question. So I'm reading through the agenda. So we're relying on it. We can't postpone the vote till after I move the public forum forward. Correct. But what I'm saying is where is it that we can't do that and resume voting after? So we're just basically moving the agenda items.
You set your agenda. The agenda's been set. That's the order it's supposed to be in.
So it has to follow this.
Yes.
So then technically, we really can't well, I guess we can suspend it for a later date, I guess.
I think we've moved agenda items before. I mean, I don't want to make any bad moves. I just think we have like a year ago or so.
It's not a practice that I recommend.
God, I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying-
And what we are going to do is we're essentially going to stop following the meeting and simply allow the public comment. So you're really not going to resume any other part of the meeting. You're just going to allow the public the opportunity to speak.
Okay, I'm going to suspend the voting on the president role until a later date.
Next meeting.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Do you want to call the roll, Jody?
Jeremy,
Aye.
Tim,
Yes.
Kara,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
So at this stage, you're going to move the public comment and you're going to adjourn the meeting.
All right, just a reminder, we have a 5-minute time limit, and I may need someone to help me with the timing. I have the timer. Oh, perfect. The first person that I have is Rich Carlson. And if you could just come up to the front and use the microphone.
Supposed to sit or stand?
If you can sit, just, or you can stand but use the microphone. Either way.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Rich Carlson. My address is 10420 North 189th Avenue, Bennington, Nebraska, 68007. You don't need a phone number, correct? That's good. That's good. I have a request for the board to think in the future, because this is a request that's very personal to me, and unlike the officers and the school to think about it. On school buses, we came up with a swing arm It's a yellow swing arm that probably goes out, I'm not for sure, don't quote me on the feet. Whenever they open the door and the kids get on the bus or get off the bus, that arm swings out about 6 feet maybe, and the kids walk in front of that, okay? When you pick up kids or drop them off, morning or night, at one time or another, they are gonna walk in front of that bus. The way the routes was when I went to school anyway, and I rode a bus in high school for about 3.5 years. I had a good friend that dropped her books in front of the bus up Spirit Lake, Iowa. She was no longer went to school the next day. And the bus driver had a pretty tough time living with it. It's just something I don't think it's required by law. But I do feel the mirrors, if you've ever looked in the mirrors, and everybody thinks mirrors are that arm to keep any kid. And I wondered also, does the school have a program where they made up a brochure to hand to the kids for bus safety? And just consider in the future, think about it, our greatest asset is our next generation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask you, Jeremy, do we have swing arms?
Some of the buses are equipped with it.
Some are. Okay. Is that something that can be put on?
Yeah, that's a good eye.
Okay. Abby Niles.
My name is Abby Niles. I live in Stratford Park, 8526 North 171st. My children attend Bennington Middle School and Stratford Elementary. I sit here knowing full well that my name will be all over local Facebook groups. Groups that you are only allowed to be a part of if you think like them or act like them. Groups that remove you for asking questions or for having a different perspective. It is disappointing that a newly elected school board member is an admin of one of these pages. A page that demands transparency from the school district. There are policies and procedures that the school board and district are legally required to follow. It is my understanding that you can't start a board meeting with only 3 officers. So in order to have a public forum, the board members need to be sworn in. Mr. Dick, before you posted on the Transparency Facebook
I'm
page.
sorry, we're not supposed to be saying names, correct? No names, please.
To the board member who is the admin of this Facebook page, before you posted on the Transparency Facebook page, did you ask for clarification as to why the public forum was moved? Or did you go straight to social media to express your disappointment? Perhaps there is a reason a recent principal wasn't fired on live TV for the world to see. Could it be that if her information had been released, she could have sued the school district? This same page called for the release of a minor's name who recently brought a gun to school. We do realize that it is illegal to release a minor's name, right? Should the district have shared it in the name of transparency, only to be sued by the family? Is it in the best interest of the school district that a sitting board member be the admin of this page, a page that parents question if they even want to send their child to the district because it seems everyone hates it? My goal sitting up here is to ask how we move forward. Do we continue to post negativity on Facebook about the school district we send our children to, or do we find a way to work together for the best interests of our children?
Next up is Brittany Cameron.
Brittany Cameron in 14563 Gilbert Avenue here in Bennington. I'm going to keep it light, guys. I just wanted to take a few moments during this first meeting of our newly formed school board to congratulate the 3 members whom I will not name, who were recently elected. I know firsthand the amount of time and energy it takes to run for school board, so I can say with confidence that it was not an easy journey. Congratulations to the 3 of you. I have nothing but encouragement to offer you guys and the existing members. As we step into 2023, I want to challenge you to be the people that you have promised to be as you have gone through the election process. I encourage you to hold fast to your beliefs and the things that ground you as a person, and to do right by our kids and not just what would benefit your platform. I challenge you to impact our community in a positive way and make your term in office meaningful. Reflecting on our community's involvement in the education system over the past few years, I know this goes without saying, but we will hold you accountable and we will hold you to a very high standard, because this is a standard that we require in our community. So thank you for your time and your dedication to our community, but most importantly, the reason we're all here today, to our kids. Thanks, guys.
Next up is Kathy Boucher.
Do I need to say we can't slander names, correct? We can say a name, you can't. Okay, okay, that's fine.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Crochet. I reside at 7948 North 152nd Avenue. I'm a parent of a teenager here in the district. I am here today to update the board on my research with respect to the Student Activity Fund. To summarize the background, Equity Nerd LLC was contracted by Bennington Public Schools approximately 1 year ago to provide professional development training to teachers and students. Bennington canceled its contract with Equity Nerd after there were some teacher complaints regarding the content. The content focused heavily on using inclusive language, addressing unconscious bias, as well as personal pronouns. A Bennington parent then requested the training material from the school, who did not have it, and referenced them to Equity Nerd. The parent then conducted internet searches of the women from Equity Nerd, who facilitated the training and found concerning social media posts in which the women advocated for things like comprehensive sexual education, as well as critical race theory in education. Because Bennington paid Equity Nerd out of the school's activity fund account meant for student activities facilitated outside of curriculum instruction, I filed a complaint with the Nebraska Auditor of Public Accounts. Here's their response, and I won't say the whole thing due to time. We contacted the Department of Education and inquired about what expenses would be considered allowable to code to the activity fund. The department reps stated that generally it depends on the purpose of the expense. With regard to professional training, it would be allowable for such an expense to be coded to the activity fund if a school district determined that the expense is in line with other expenses typically made out of the account. The public auditor also contacted the school district. The representative stated that the professional training services provided by the company were paid out of the miscellaneous account within the activity fund. The miscellaneous account has been used in the past by this district for other outside speakers and organizations. In addition, no public funds are received into the miscellaneous account. Rather, the revenue is from vending machine sales, fines, etc. As a result, from an auditing perspective, it appears one could argue it was allowable for the district to allocate the professional training in question to the activity fund. My questions to the board that I would like to follow up to in the near future are as follows. If this professional training is necessary for teachers and students, why was it funded from an account meant for student activities outside of school instruction? 2, did this accounting method enable the school to hide the content from parents? 3, why would this general training not fall under general curriculum? The Nebraska Department of Education outlines the accounting of the activities fund as follows. The activities fund shall not be used to record general operation revenues or expenditures, nor shall it be used as a clearinghouse for the general fund. etc. I am requesting that the board review its policy regarding the activity fund and either amend the existing policy or develop a new policy to clearly define acceptable use of the fund. The miscellaneous account within the activity fund could appear to be a slush fund used for purposes other than funding activities and programs meant to directly benefit the students in their activities. I, as a parent, have concerns with my child receiving gender ideology and CRT training without my knowledge. There is evidence that such training geared towards our children can be ineffective at best and harmful at worst to their psyche. To demonstrate this, I've provided some handouts to you. One being a 13-year-old child who was recently kidnapped from his home in Utah by a man who identifies as a gay Demi Furry Fox. The suspect was arrested at a gas station in Grand Island, Nebraska. Children searching for gender affirmation largely seek out information online where predators are looking for them. I sincerely doubt that Equity Nerd concerns itself with the dangers of teaching their theories with internet safety and exploitation of teenagers online. I would like for the board to review any such future instruction and seek public review and comment before it is allowed to be taught to our children. In closing, I would also like to recommend implementing a financial oversight committee to assist you with financial matters. It's a big job, and I believe it would help you to do your job better. Thank you for your time.
Next up is Carol Dussel-Sterney.
Let me do the first one, or at least one of the first ones, to welcome the new board members. I'm excited to see how the newly elected and existing board members will work together to accomplish great things for the Bennington School District taxpayers, its teachers, and its students. I would like to make a plea. If you think through the last decade and all the issues in this school district, we've had a letter from the Attorney General on the Open Meetings Act. We've had a letter from the state auditor on financials. We've had a letter from the Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission. We've had a Title IX lawsuit and settlement because the administration and board refused to listen and appropriately respond. We ignored or dismissed auditor reports on significant deficiencies for a decade. We had interest-only debt schedules, negative cash flow by 2028, and it was proposed to issue debt to pay debt. We have the highest debt ratio in the state and most of the nation. We have closed sessions for a standing 6% raise every year for many years and not following Superintendent Pay Transparency Act. Ignoring heritage issues and then paying out the principal's contract when she should have been terminated for cause. Actual insubordination of not providing board member Dreesen the information he needed to make a determination on the heritage principal. The egregious amount of money paid for high school site number 2 before consulting the public, and it went way over budget. These are just a few. And then you have the ongoing gaslighting of parents and constituents or complete disregard for their concerns, including lack of follow-up for me personally on my requests. The district wants me to pay $4,453 when I ask for details such as why did our September Blue Cross Blue Shield bill decrease by 39% when we opened 2 new schools? Doesn't seem reasonable. Why approximately $1.5 million was paid to construction companies out of the nutrition services account without invoices? There is inability of staff or parents to speak up for fear of reprisal. These issues are not normal course of business, or at least they shouldn't be. This is the result of one person being in charge and having control of the board for 20 years. Using the Freedom of Information Act, social media posts, news stations, and lawsuits should not be the norm. Bennington taxpayers voted out the president and turned down the school bond by the largest margin in Douglas County history. I hope this new board heeds that and changes the culture and implements the list on the transparency website that the constituents want addressed. I believe if you do, you will gain the trust of the public back and be regarded as one of the greatest school boards in the modern Bennington era. I look forward to seeing what you will accomplish and will help in any way possible. I do want to note that Board Member Tim Dreesen, I believe, is the only person who has voted on the side of the public on these issues. Thank you.
Melissa Redford.
Hello, I'm Melissa Renter. I live at 7734 North 159th Street. I'm in Pine Creek. I have an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old, so I'm just really getting into the school district business. So I have two priority messages to give you guys, if you don't mind. So one is transparency should come directly from the board and not social media. The call for transparency from the school board has been a priority for the last couple of years. And through this identified need, social media venues have been created by Bennington community members to help. For example, the Bennington School District Transparency Facebook page. With the new board members voted in, communication transparency needs to be a top priority coming directly from the board, no longer Facebook. It is a conflict of interest knowing that this communication venue has publicly called up teachers and district employees for community members to see. It has fostered forms of bullying, incivility, misinformation, and an environment of blame, not bringing our community together in this community that I absolutely love. My call to action is that this page and others like it are removed, knowing that we have newly elected members who have promised the level of transparency the community feels we've been missing directly from the school board. It's time to work together for the betterment of our children, teachers, and community. My second point is teachers are the foundation to a thriving community. The thriving communities start with thriving school districts, and the foundation to a thriving school district are quality teachers. They're the heart of it. At the rate we are growing and not passing the high school bond, what will be the school board's call to action to not only attract and retain the quality faculty that we have, but also retain the ones that we have that we love so dearly that are literally right behind me. My challenge to you guys is to visit the classrooms, shadow teachers to see the day in the life, how not passing a second school is really going to disrupt them and having to share classrooms. I am a consistent expert speaker at the high school, so I visit there annually every time. And so I see the ins and outs of the crowds, the lack of space, and to have to share a classroom with teachers is going to be not a quality of life for these teachers, and I want to keep them. We need to invest in our infrastructures and our faculty to thrive as a community, then our students will thrive. It really starts with the teachers. Our priority needs to be partnering with the people who are actually doing the work of the school district, not politics. And I will end with, I believe in this community, and if we work productively and positively together, with ego set aside, we will continue to have a thriving community that everyone wants to live in. That tone and direction is set by the school board, so please be role models of this and ignite innovation, transparency, and positivity for our community, Bennington community. Thank you.
Jen Dick.
Jen Dick, address is 16426 Bowman Avenue, Omaha, Nebraska, 68116. I was not talking tonight, but the reason I came up to talk initially was to talk about the voting process. I think that we all, as many of us here have discussed, as many as have discussed on the transparency page, as well as those that have reached out to myself and my husband, as well as other board members, feel the 6 of you have a job to do. It's a job that you will have to not always follow what the other one wants, not always agree. It is your job, though, to keep the superintendent in check. So you, the 6 of you, need to come together and figure out what to do. It's disappointing to see that we spent almost an hour voting on the president. From my point of view, there's been one of the 3 of you that have returned that have always voted no, and have asked questions, and have gone against things that you have, yes ma'am, yes sir. So to me, the president should be somebody that has been on the board, that has stood for his constituents or her constituents, and is going to represent them moving forward. 2 of the 3 of you have not. That would be my sole vote right there. But I'm not taking that vote, and that is fine. I will point out, as many have, this transparency page that everyone lovely so talks about. We have over 1,000 members, and we did move the forum because the forum was moved again, which I agree with you, Steve. Why can't things be moved back to where they were? I'm not really sure how that works. I don't want to know how that works. I just want the public forum in the meeting and to make impact on my people that I voted for. So to just briefly state what those on that over 1,000 call for, 70% voted for Tim. All 6 of your names are listed, but for president, 70% voted for him. I'm asking you as a board to find a common ground. Our children are everything. Our teachers are everything. They are the backbone foundation of this school district. It is not who is over them and leading. You all need to come together and make it a cohesive agreement. So again, I was not prepared to speak here. I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you calling and stopping. Teachers, parents, children should not bully. End of discussion. Thank you.
Okay, Jamie Wyman.
Hi, guys, my name is Jamie Weenie. No, you're good. I always tell people I before E, especially in Weenie. So it's been pronounced way worse than that, so that's okay. So my name is Jamie Weenie, address 1161 Bennington Road. I'm a teacher at the high school. I'm here speaking on behalf of all these good-looking guys in blue shirts. So we're here because we care deeply about kids. And first and foremost, we want to welcome you guys as a new board and very, very much looking forward to, as a team, moving forward with challenges as a district, as many of you. So our why as teachers is kids, right? What's best for kids is best for us. And we say that all the time, no matter how hard or challenging it might be, what's best for kids is always best for us. And as a team, we as a district are a team, from teachers to students to bus drivers to secretaries to principals, all the way up to superintendents, current and future. Teaching is an incredibly rewarding job. If you do it right, it's also incredibly challenging. In high school right now, with the growth of the district, these challenges are increasing. Class sizes are going up, facility usage, facility availability is shrinking, and workloads are expanding. As a result of these things, our worry as a staff is that the quality of education we give our kids could potentially not be as good for future kids as it is now. Here are some of the things that we're facing just next year alone. So first of all, any new teacher we hire next year does not have a classroom. We are out of classrooms. That means those new teachers will be traveling teachers. That means current teachers might lose our classrooms during plan periods to go somewhere else to work. There are students that wish to take AP classes or electives that they simply cannot because they are full, there's no room in those classes. We're looking at PE classes that have between 40 and 50 kids for one teacher. Imagine navigating that as a teacher in a weight room, not to mention what happens in the locker room before and after the class period. We also have almost 1,000 kids that we need to feed lunch to in less than an hour and a half. That is a task, and that is a task that has been more challenging every year. With just the last 4 years, so I've been in the district for 4 years. My first year here, I averaged about 23 or so kids per class. I'm at about 28 kids per class now. That matters for a lot of reasons. So that's about 5 more kids per student. But I have 7 periods of 5 more kids. That's 35 more students I have a day. So if I give a test, that's 35 more correct tests I have to correct. For science teachers, that's 35 more labs they got to give. For English teachers, bless their heart, there's 35 more essays they got to give. Right? I go from grading 160 some tests to 200, right? When I have this number as it is now, that's a huge step up. Obviously, this means a lot more work, which is challenging. But more than anything, this means I can't spend the time with the kids making connections and building relationships, which is why we do what we do. The more kids we have in the seats, the less we have the opportunity to really, really connect and do what educators love to do. This also makes it hard for us to attract new teachers that want to do these things and make these connections when we face these challenges as a district. I think if we ask what's best for kids, if we ask them and say, hey, do you want 24 kids in your class or 30? I think we know the answer. If you're trying out for basketball or volleyball or the musical, do you want to compete against 60 kids for a spot or do you want to compete against 30 kids for a spot? What's best for kids is best for us, even if that's hard. If we look at a little bit of data, let's throw out the growth rate, how much we're growing. Let's just look at what the population is now. If we look 2 years down the road, if there is no growth in our district, so we're taking the current 7th and 8th graders and we're putting them in 9th and 10th grade. In 2 years, we will be over capacity in high school. In 4 years, so 5th and 6th graders now, in 4 years, we will be 35 to 40% over capacity. That is with no growth. And we can all agree that no growth is certainly not happening right now in Bennington. Community suggestions about moving kids around from the middle school, or from the high school over to the middle school, trying to spread the population out evenly, simply put, is not a realistic solution, because moving students means moving teachers on a daily basis and moving all the supplies that go with teachers on a daily basis. The same can be said for pods, if people have suggested that as an option. These are the exact same challenges with pods, and these solutions are really, really short-sighted. As a staff, and on behalf of our entire community, we're asking you guys as a school board to please consider bringing up the bond again, to give the community another opportunity to vote to see the necessity of a second high school. And I really want to urge you guys on a personal level. You can come to my classroom, to come to any of our classrooms, visit with our administrators, see what the school day is like for us. I will tell you, it's amazing at Bennington High School. It is amazing, but it is really challenging, and the challenges are real, and they are evident, and they are growing. And the only way to really see them, in my opinion, is to see them. So I really want to give an open invitation for that. Over the years, we have created one of the strongest learning centers in this state, and the data bears that out time and time again. There are many reasons for this. One of them is we've always had, as teachers, supportive administration. That can't be understated. And secondly, we've always had supportive community. The community has continued to come through time and time again when we have asked them to do so to support our kids. Think of our schools. We've added elementaries, we've added middle schools. Think of it as highways, right? When highways get too congested, we add lanes. We have added lanes. We have added elementaries, we've added middle schools. Why would we add those lanes? And then when they get to high school, they're all going to come back together again. That's putting a lot of people in one place. I don't know any of you on a personal level, but I assume that you guys have, some of you at least have kids in the district. And I assume, I think without a doubt, that you guys are here for the same reasons that we are, to do what's best for kids. And I want, our staff wants to be able to teach your kids and my own 2 kids, their own kids, the entire community's kids. We want to be able to teach our kids the way we've always been able to. That gets really, really difficult with more people. Can I have 26 more seconds? Okay. You can start that in 26 more seconds. So at this point, I really think we're all a team now. Every single one of us, right? It's not about me, it's about we. Bennington is different. Bennington is special. Bennington always has been. And education and supportive schools has always been a big part of that. Please consider taking up a second vote. Please come into our schools. In closing, I think it's pretty simple. We're Bennington or we're not. We're supportive of kids or we're not. There is no gray area there, even if the answer is difficult. We, as a high school staff, would like to stand, and we would like to stand with you guys as a team together, because right now we have an amazing opportunity to come through for our kids. So I want to thank you for your service on the board, and I want to thank you for your time.
One last opportunity if someone else wants to speak. Right, with that, I will offer, have a motion, okay, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second?
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.